Okay. When we speak about leading with love and embracing the journey, I want you to know, as membership directors and event personnel, that begins with you. You are the heart of Women Council. You have the power, as I always say, to set the tone for both our current members and our future members. So if someone walks through that door, they need to feel welcome. They need to be engaged. You need to be on top of everything that will give that warm and fuzzy. And our executive line is always laughing. I'm always talking about warm and fuzzy. But that is the first impression when someone walks through your door. Therefore, we must provide the opportunity that we are not overwhelming these people, but we are really embracing them and inviting them to be part of our project teams or part of our membership overall. So if you think back when you came into Women Council, who extended that invitation to you? Who offered you that opportunity and create a space for you? Think back who that person was. And now it is your turn to pay it forward and extend some type of kindness to someone else, right? Our current members and our future members coming in, they are, as we would say, yearning for connection. So we have to organize engaging events that can get everyone to actively participate. Okay. As a result, we are talking about a culture of strong friendship and networking where everyone within this council, everyone genuinely feel love, feel that we are attracting them to inspire them so that we can build our local network, hence building the state network. So let us embrace on our roles as events person, membership directors, but overall, this job, as I call it, is for all of us, everyone. Let us ensure that we have an environment where everyone feel that they are not only welcome, but also encouraged to take part in what we call our collective journey, okay? So I want again to welcome you all and to let you know that today we have some awesome leaders here who will be presenting. We have Candy Miles, District Vice President, Outer Central Pan, Andrea Anacito, who is our State Events Director, and Cindy Hayden, our RPAC Ambassador from Tampa. These ladies have a wealth of knowledge, and they're going to share with you some things that you already know. I'm sure there's a lot of things here that you will hear and you say, oh, I know that, you're just not doing it. So we are here to remind you on what to do, how to do it, and to leave the door open so you can excel and be successful. Fair enough? So again, welcome everybody. I know you will leave this session taking away some great practice, and I'd like to introduce our first presenter, Candy Miles, who will talk about our membership. Thank you, Candy.
Good morning, leaders. I hope you're all having a wonderful morning this morning already. Thank you so much for being here with us to go over our membership and events training and to help each other learn and grow. This morning, we're going to talk about a few things, and we really want this to be interactive. So please drop your comments, your questions, your best practices in the chat, because we're going to be doing a lot with that. And Cindy's going to be watching the chat for us as well. So, so drop in the chat what your biggest challenges with membership are currently. No one has any challenges?
I was gonna say, Candy, this can be easy, no challenges.
Perfect. Awesome. Well, Andrea, did you have some notes on that from before, or do you want to circle back to this after people get a chance to kind of do that?
Let's let them put it in the chat. And a lot of these I see, we're going to be answering a lot of these questions
Okay,
anyway.
perfect. Awesome. Well, we will be going over a lot of info as well, but we're going to be following up with resources to help you and make sure that all your questions are answered and you know where to find the appropriate resources. Okay.
Candy,
So
I'm just kind of keeping a list. So at the end, if we don't cover some of these, I'll just try to share if there was anything else. So
awesome. And we can send out like a QR code with the like a best practice document and like maybe a frequently asked questions document or something like that where we can have the answer. So I can help with that. But first we're going to go over retrieving your membership list. And so this is new. Hopefully everyone got the memo, but they have updated and made it a little bit easier and more effective on the national site. So once you log in, you'll go to connect.wcr.org, which if you go to wcr.org and you click on login, it takes you automatically to this website also. But so when you log in, you'll see a new tab there called Network Builder here. So you click on Network Builder. Then you're going to be able to see the networks you're associated with. So like Andrea is associated with Stuart Martin County, she can view that membership roster. So what's really cool is you can go ahead and you can export it in a CSV file and then also see these other tabs at the top. So there's active member tab and then there's a former member tab, which is really cool. So also you could pull your former members here. And I know today is the last day of the comeback campaign, but if anybody has any time, maybe link arms and divide up this list and just reach out to these people. Cindy Hayden has an incredible app she uses called Reach. Do a quick video, text it, and just remind them that they are eligible for the comeback campaign and invite them back into the membership as well. So I'm sure it was on the old roster too, but important things to look at are the enrollment date and the paid through date. So you can see when the renewal is due. And if anybody has any questions on that, Beata is going to help us with that because national changed a little bit, but because you'll pay for your membership for this year and then it'll be prorated. So it changed a little bit, but. Okay, so if everybody is familiar with the comeback program, if you're not, let us know and we'll make sure to go over that. But it does end today. And so it's a really great opportunity to go ahead and call them all and or text them, whatever's easiest. If you have BombBomb, you can do it super easily and just offer the 50% discount. No extra fees to join.
Andy, do you mind if I jump in on this one too?
No, please.
So some other things that you guys can use these enrollment dates for and the paid through dates, you know, enrollment dates are going to tell you how long someone has been a member. So in the chat, if you guys can just real quick, tell us how long you've been a member of Women's Council. You've got some people who have been here, 20 years. We actually had in the network, we had a lifetime member who had been granted membership throughout the entire rest of the lifetime. So that was pretty cool. But you have a lot of people who have been in these networks and they can give you a lot of experience, a lot of their experience, a lot of their knowledge, talk to you about their events and their programs and things they've done with membership throughout the time, give you examples of their why, some other reasons that you can connect with the people in your network to make this even better for your members. And then the paid through date, not only for your comeback campaign, but you want to be able to tell people what to expect whenever they're renewing, or if you have people who are past due, once January comes, if they didn't pay, they're still going to stay on your roster for a little while. Gives you another opportunity to say, hey, wait, they're past due. Let me give them a call and give them some good things that are coming up to help them make that decision to go ahead and join or rejoin.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I did see a question here on that, Barbara. That's a great question. Is the 50% discount only for the national dues? Beata, do you know the answer to that?
Yes and no. I think the 50% relays on the 6 months, honestly, only. So which means that they tell us you only have to pay for the rest of the year. For September, for July, August, September, and so on. This is the 50% of the total year cost.
Oh, okay, cool. Thank you.
So, which also means that this person who is coming back will get another bill in November for next year.
But the new members, if a new member was to join today, it would be the full price, and the comeback members would be the 50% price.
Yes.
Perfect,
So
okay.
if you have a new member joining today, they have to pay the full amount, which is approximately around 200, depending on your local dues. In June next year, they will get a bill, and it will be prorated again for the next 6 months. But remember, they will raise the dues on national. So it will not be any longer 140 next year. Starting January 1st, it will be 170. So it might be a good pitch to get the members now, because they save, sorry to say it, $15 if they join this year instead of next year, because they only pay then half of the $30 higher dues. Make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Forget ChatGPT. Everybody needs a Beata in their pocket.
Yeah.
All right, so next we're going to move on to some best practices for recruitment, and we're also going to go in and talk about retention as well. So go ahead and drop in the chat some of your best practices. So when talking about recruiting, it's all about exposure. So also, you are an ambassador for the council. So always remember that in every interaction, not just with Women's Council, but in your community and, you know, when you're talking to your clients, your friends, all of the above. But definitely it helps to leverage social media. I think we're all starting to do a great job with that, and especially with ChatGPT helping us. Cindy is the expert on that. But you can create challenges, do videos, event photos, all of those things, and tag everybody. And we do that a lot here in Central Panhandle, because it's great because you're not only connecting with your friends and your colleagues, but it also showcases the camaraderie and the relationships that we have with each other together. And it's really attracting people that maybe are new to the business, or maybe they want to get re-engaged and they're looking for that support. So these are also some other ideas about what you can do for recruiting, and we'll go through and we'll talk about some of our best practices as well. And I have a few that messaged me directly as well. And so I was going to give a shout out to Stacy Grimes. She's membership director in Central Panhandle. She has been like kind of the leader that is putting these monthly meetings together. And it's super cool because a lot of the past members that hadn't really been engaged were really kind of saying they missed breakfast meetings. And so it kind of brought that back, and it's really brought a lot of new members and exposure, because we partnered with our local association to host the meeting so that it doesn't cost us anything. And then we've had a great turnout, and we do it on a time that's super convenient for everybody in the morning, just kind of get your week started off right. So that's been great. Rachel Simmerly from Emerald Coast Network, she said that they have been utilizing personal calls and auto text reminders for the comeback campaign, but also they hold evening new member orientations, such as paint parties and craft events. And so those new member orientations, you can also have people that aren't new members come and join in so that they can find out what Women's Council is all about. So it's a great time to recruit new members as well. So they also hold events in different areas and locations. And she says, personally, I try to keep my eye out everywhere when I go for new member candidates, and I put them in touch with the leadership team when she's at MLS tours, other industry events, education sessions, local board events, and community events as well. And Gina Sanchez from Orlando, she also said that she also goes to other Women's Council, not Women's Council events, other events, and is representing Women's Council, and it's been a great way to connect with new members as well. And Lauren, we'll talk about these in retention, but Lauren Beninati with Central Panhandle also gave me some notes as well. And Nancy from North Lake, her thought process for building membership this year was to make sure that she offered educational events for realtors that the board or maybe their brokerage wasn't offering. So something really special and unique that, you know, just sets Women's Council apart and has really attracted new members. Does anybody else want to touch on anything on that?
I'm going to put a shameless plug that July 11th, we're going to have a 1-hour insurance event with a toolkit for people to be able to market and, you know, hopefully increase their own business. So again, that opportunity to bring other people that aren't Women's Council to see kind of the value as well as our own members for retention, I think is an opportunity that Charmaine's made available to everyone.
Awesome. Also make sure to drop in the chat what your most successful new member strategy is. And Cindy, do you see any things that we need to highlight or talk about best practices as far as recruitment?
We had that, Erin talked about, you know, everywhere she goes, talking to people about, you know, we're in the relationship business, which is so key, right? And so just keep talking about it, saying the good things about it. And Elena does, Ivani does the same thing. Again, inviting people, mostly it looked like it was, one of them said talking about the fun. I know that one of the things sometimes overlooked is having somebody even just take pictures of different people. Sometimes it's always the leadership. Try to get as many people as possible so people feel like they have some FOMO of what they missed, right? Like show the fun. So got those opportunities. Welcoming guests at the meetings, and Lisa said they had Neil Oates have a CE class where they were able to bring new realtors to WCR. Melanie said postcards, it's old school, but they're, and yeah. So those were some of the ideas.
Awesome. Well, keep, as you think of them, just keep dropping those in the chat and we'll compile everything together as well. So yes, and we just touched on this a little bit about what to do when new members show up. So not only at your event, but when you see them at different community events as well, just, you know, welcome them and introduce them to everybody. Something that we do really well in Central Panhandle is we kind of discuss with each other like, okay, they're new or they're thinking about joining. And then we make sure that everybody is like welcoming them, introducing themselves, saying hello, and asking how they can help them, you know, find resources, or who do they want to know, what is like, what's in it for them, what do they need in their business, and how can we help them. So thank them for coming, and make sure that you have all of your information for future events as well. And it's, you know, follow-up is the key as well.
Candy, can I just, someone said, what if your local association won't, you know, limits your exposure, they'll let you introduce something or whatever. But again, I think that's part of the opportunity with the RPAC or advocacy piece is every association is trying to provide value in that area. And so if we're bringing in new RPAC participation, major investors, issues that people can help their agents do better, those are the things to bring to them that are different, that we're not competing with them, we're enhancing. So again, don't miss those opportunities just to show, like everything else, how we can be a good partner, right?
Awesome. Yes. And I love what Sam just wrote. Be like Margot. Tell them you are so glad they're here. So some best practices for retention. So drop in the comments what your favorite practices for retention. It's super, super important to know your audience, right? So get to know your members. Welcome them when they come in and ask questions. Make sure that you're following member in a box and you're finding out their details. You're making them feel welcome. And then you're also following up on the things that are important to them as well. So you can over deliver on the value that would be to the members and your strategic partners as well. So, try not to over promise, just try to over deliver instead. Charmaine, that's Andrea. So host events that matter to your members and recognize and reward. Next slide, please. Also, remember, everyone has busy schedules. So, don't get upset if the timing isn't right for an event. Just know that it was a learning opportunity and that maybe we should look at community schedules and also your association schedules and go from there and try to have more valuable events than, I guess, like quantity and quality, right? So make sure that you have the most quality instead of just having events to have events, because we all have way too much to do. Some of the things that Lauren Beninati mentioned were having clear communication, maintain regular and transparent communication with all the members, committee members as well, regarding meeting schedules, agendas, and any other updates or changes. Have meaningful involvement, offer opportunities for members to actively participate and contribute to the committee's goals and projects. And then recognize and appreciate, show appreciation for valuable contributions of your project teams. And flexible and inclusive. Be mindful that individual commitments, responsibilities, and constraints are very important to the individual, and provide flexible meeting schedules to consider, and also consider virtual options to accommodate members' needs. I know everybody was so excited after the pandemic to get back in person, but having Zooms like these are also important for people that really can't attend everything. So education and training sessions that members might weigh in on found valuable as well. So thank you all for your notes, and just keep dropping in your thoughts as they come up as well on what's your most successful retention strategies. Next slide. Cindy, did you see anything we needed to highlight real quick? Or?
No, I think we can just wait till the end to get the summary. We're getting it over here. Keep going.
Okay, cool. Awesome. So hosting events that matter to your membership. I think we touched on that so we can move forward, but that's really super important because they're not going to come if it's something that either they don't find value in or that everybody else is doing.
So Candy, I'm going to take over from here.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Thank you.
Give you a break. So I want you guys to imagine the first event that you went to as a Women's Council member. I want you to think about the venue, think about the decor, the food, the check-in process, all of that, the day that you walked in. And I also want you to think about how that made you feel. Were you super excited to come back? Did you wait and come back months later? What was your path? Because all of our paths are different, but to get to the point that you're in right now, you had to go through that WCR journey that we talk about. So now you're in a position where you get to create that feeling. You get to help these future leaders come into their own. And the place that this begins is the most fun place that all of us have, which is the budget. So let's talk about a few of these event minimum standards that Women's Council puts out for us. First thing, you have to have 6 events. How many people have been in networks where there's 7 events a month or 3 events a month where it's just overburdening people? You want to have really well put together events that are mission focused. Again, 6 of them annually. 4 of them have to be industry events. One of these needs to be developing business leadership skills. One of them needs to be collaborative. And then 2 other events need to be networking or relationship building and can include professional development content. So the moral of this story is don't overdo it. If you do 6 great events, people are going to recognize your network. They're going to join you. And if you do 3 events a month, you're going to burn them out. Thank you. So just recognize that and plan your event calendar based on that, because again, like Candy said, we're all busy. We all have a ton of different places that we are in addition to what we're doing with our clients. So keep that in mind. And I want you guys to tell me, what is the best industry event that you've ever attended? Drop that in the chat. Looking at just industry events, so building your development, your business leadership skills, anything where you're doing education, things you're learning, becoming a better realtor. I'm waiting for your chat. Okay, elevator pitches, information about the county. I'll share with you mine. My very favorite one every single year that I make sure I'm at is the county updates. So when we have the mayor come, we have the property appraiser come, they're telling us about things that are happening, any of the government affairs updates. Those are my favorite things. I always make sure that I'm at those events. So to put them on, you're getting people who maybe might miss something that's more of a networking event. You're getting people, and you're getting different people in. There's a lot of city events, city and county events. Those are always a big attendance event. Okay, so let's talk about project teams. As an event director, your job is not to get burnout. That's part of your task this year. You're going to have project teams. Every event has a project team where you have at least 2 members from your membership. We don't want these to be people who are on the governing board, because they have their own tasks that they're doing also, right? They have their own teams that they are leading at that time. So of course they can be on the team from the governing board, but try to get people outside the governing board. The event director is going to oversee the project team, and you want to really make sure that if you have 4 big events, that you have 4 different project team leads. There's a reason that we asked for this. We'll get to that in a second. But tell me, why do you think the governing board shouldn't be on a project team? Well, as a project team lead. Where's my fast typers? These are true. These are all true. If you guys are looking at the chat. Part of our job is to grow leaders. Part of our job in any position on the governing board is to reach into the membership and bring those people up. We've got to include them. We've got to make them feel included and grow them into the leaders, so that there are people who are coming after us to join that membership or that leadership bench. All right, so here's usually what everybody's favorite events are. Give me some ideas of what your favorite networking events are. What are some of the best networking events that you've attended? Casino nights are fun. They are definitely fun. We did a Kentucky Derby this year, and I think 2 years ago. It was a great time. You really get to know people, you get to share things with them, and really start building on those relationships. Because everything we do, it's relationship based. So those networking events are really, really important to have also. These are great ideas. Keep coming with ideas. We need all the ideas we can get. We're going to share all of this with you guys later too. So like I said, hosting events that are going to matter to your membership, they're all going to start with a budget. And I know that's everybody's favorite, right? So the good news is we're going to teach you how to create those event budgets and then how to analyze those event budgets. So starting here, this is just a sample budget from a fundraiser. You can see that here, fundraiser, right? So things you want to do when you're creating this budget, you want to make sure that you're looking at past years to create this, because if last year and the year before you had 25 people attend, don't assume that you're going to have 75 this year. I know it's going to be a great event. I know you're planning all this stuff for it. It's going to be amazing, but look at the past data, because that past data is going to help drive your budget. Make sure that you do 2 sets of pricing. So you have member tickets, but you also have your non-member tickets or your future member tickets. We talk about, a lot of us do drawings. Make sure you don't do a raffle, but you can do a drawing. Am I right, Beata? Am I flipping it? Okay, so you can do a drawing, but you can't do a raffle, and we'll fix that on this presentation before we send that out to you. I'm going to fix it in my notes right now. But plan conservatively. When you are looking at income, plan super conservatively and underestimate if you have an option. You want to make sure that your income at the end of it is going to support your overall budget. So best practice is plan very conservatively when you're looking at income. And then when you go to expenses, make sure you're putting in there things like printing, any giveaways you're going to give. If you have meals that you're providing for speakers, meals that you're providing for guests, if you do the free lunch program, make sure that you're including the cost of all of those things. You're going to have, we all know that everything has gone up in price, right? So buffer for that also. And most importantly, never, never, ever expense alcohol with Women's Council. Now we're going to do a super deep dive into budgets and creating your budget and everything. We're going to do all of that in August, but we want to get you started because I know a lot of the PEs are already starting to create their budgets. So keep an eye on this. You need to know what events you're going to do in order to be able to do your event budget. So this is 3 samples here. Can you guys all see this okay? I don't know if you can see it, if you're looking on your phone, if it's really small. But this is 3 examples of 3 different types of events in their budgets. They're supposed to be different. So you should not have 12 events with 12 exact same budgets. So this one is a community update. They charge people to come in the door. They gave them a lunch. It netted about $1,200. Then if you look over here at this one, this is a fundraiser. We want to make money on a fundraiser. So this one's going to net $14,000. But then below here, you have a beach cleanup that netted 0. And it really didn't charge anybody for anything, but a sponsor came in and they provided garbage bags and drinks. So they're doing the beach cleanup, which you can do as a community collaborative event, which then goes back to satisfying your collaboration efforts. I know Florida Realtors this year, Cindy, can you chime in on that one? Because I don't remember all the details, but it's with water.
Yes, every year they do a clean water day, and locally the associations usually have a day pick. So it's great if you want to just get in with them, or if not, do one and invite some of the other local associations. They typically focus on July. So, in the month of July. So there's probably something on the calendar to check out. I'll get the link and put it in for where you can find more details in the chat.
Thank you. Yes, July is Clean Water Month. I know our association is doing it July 11th, and a lot of people are around that same time, but we'll find that for you. So after you've created all of your budgets, the very most, you have your event. The very most important thing is going to, oh, I skipped a slide. Just kidding. Go back. I want you to give me some advice. What is some of the best advice you're going to give a new event director that has just joined your board? If you are the new event director, give me some of the advice that people have given you. You guys are excited about water. I'm glad to see that. Delegate. That's going to go back to your project teams. Make sure you're using those project teams. Don't worry. I like that one. Don't worry. Everything is going to be okay. All right, well, I'm going to tell you that the very most important piece of event planning is going to happen after your event is over. So you're going to make all this money like that, right? You're going to learn, we want to teach you how to analyze events using the budget. So first thing, you want to make sure that your treasurer, right after the event, is going to come in and fill in a column on your budget. So this budget that you see here.
Hold on one second. AirPods died. Can you hear me? Yeah, okay. So this column here, this actual column, it doesn't help you if it's not filled in. So you want to have your treasurer come in and fill in this column so you can see if you really made money. You can compare your budget versus actual. So in here, if it, we made more money on sponsorships, we made more money on tickets, but we didn't sell as much as we thought on the purses, and there could be a reasoning why, right? So the bottom dollar is we made about half of what we thought we were going to make. So make sure that you're going in and you're comparing your budget versus actual. Have your project team meet the one last time after the event's over. Have your project team meet, and they're going to review that whole event, budgets versus actual, where it varies, where the amounts varied, and then add some notes into your budget, because this gives somebody the ability to look back in future years. They can look back and see what were your successes and what opportunities you had to do better the next year. So I added some in here. So they had great member turnout, right? Because they had more people show than they had anticipated. They really liked the menu, but they were short on purse sales because maybe the economy was hard, real estate was down, the DJ costs more money. It's just things that the next year they can go back in, they can see what is it that's changed, and how do we improve upon last year, because we always want to do that better, right? So here's the $1 million question. Can an item that's not in the budget be paid? So somebody comes to you and says, listen, my project team comes, she's like, I really, really want to put goodie bags on the on every single table, but I forgot to put it in the budget, or it's not in the budget. How do we do it? Who knows how that's done?
You bring it to the board meeting and get a vote to add that in to the budget.
There's always confusion on this. So we have lots of options here, right? If it's not a line item on here, you have to find a sponsor. So let's talk about that really quick. You've got a sponsor who's a strategic partner already. They're spending between $250 and $5,000 to be your sponsor for the year, or your strategic partner for the year. But we're going to have to go out and ask them for more, because at this point we need to put these goodie bags out with, and we're going to put their name on them, because that's what sponsorship's all about, right? Getting more exposure and getting your name out there. But this is an opportunity for someone to, again, come out and put their name on something, so that we can provide a little bit more value to the people who are showing up. So in this case, if it's not on this budget, if it's not one of these line items, you have to find a sponsor. If it is one of these line items, so like look at the food. We had more people show up than we expected. Are we going to have to find a sponsor for this extra $600 worth of food? No, that's something that is to be expected. All right, so tell me, what are some challenges that you've experienced with planning events? Food and location costs, always a big one. And that changes year to year. Part of what you have to do is get creative in some of your locations. You know, we've used builder locations. We've gone outside and gone to tourist attractions like the Oceanographic Center. That's how we ended up at SeaWorld, is we had to look outside of, you know, what was available at the time to meet budget and cost. So looking outside of your standard locations is always a good one. Not competing with association events is hard. Yep. And some of these we're going to talk about in August. A lot of these we're going to talk about in August when we get together again. So let's go into our Q&A. Cindy, what are some of the things that we want to hit on from the chat?
There was a question on our 50/50.
Oh no, I'm muted.
Can you hear me now?
Again.
Okay. Someone asked if 50/50 was okay.
50/50 for what?
A 50/50 drawing.
Oh.
Are me
50/50
saying yes?
is. So 50/50 is okay. But you need to keep it in cash. That cash never goes into your account. The cash would then go to, you know, if you want to sponsor somebody outside as a donation. So you can, let's say that you want to, Boys and Girls Club is a group that you want to sponsor for the year or you want to donate to, you can do the 50/50 drawing for them. 50% goes in cash form to them at the end of the year. We can't put that into our accounts, can we, Charmaine?
Natalie,
I'm sorry, I was looking. I needed to admit. Could you repeat the question?
With a 50/50 drawing, that 50% can't go into our accounts, can it?
The second 100% can go into your account. You just cannot cut a check for it for a charity. That's where our issue comes in.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's going to go to a charity, that's where you hold it in cash and then give it at the end of the year.
Correct.
answer is yes.
Perfect. I think from the event stuff, everybody just had good ideas. From the beginning part of the session, some of them were feeling like there might be a saturation of events between the association and other organizations in their area. So kind of getting that recognition. And again, I think based on what we've talked about, find a niche that people aren't doing, right? Getting members to participate, the time commitment of realtors, getting people to get involved. I think some of that's going to dovetail what we're doing in August, right? Because
Yes.
we
Yes.
can show people how to work smarter, not harder. They're more likely to get involved, right?
And I think we should look outside of the box now. I think what happened with membership directors or networks on a whole, they're looking what happened the year before last year and keep doing the same thing over and over again. What if we look for something that's totally outside of the box, but keep your huge events then? That is like a draw for people to come in. Keep those events, but come up with creative ideas of other ways to attract members to come in. And I think that is what we're going to really deep dive, as Andrea say, in August. So not only the membership and events directors we're asking to be there in August, but everyone, because someone might have an idea, you know, that is totally different, like a dance contest or something.
The other
And I
thing
think
too is to,
Lisa Stewart, did you have a question? You had your hand up. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was just, good morning, everybody. I was just asking really a question about the, what we talked in the beginning about the membership list and stuff. I'm really big on trying to get retention and everything. And I know that every year they allow the president and the membership director to have admin access to. Is there any way that we can get other people able to use that retention list that are on the board, or is it just for those specific positions?
Maybe
I think
Beate
that's
knows.
the new one.
So it's the
Yeah,
new one, all the whole board is able to access it?
Mhm.
I just think sometimes if we can work together, sometimes, like you said, everybody's schedule is kind of hectic sometimes, and if we can all work together as a board and be able to work together and get it done, that we all need to have access to that.
Yeah, but previously, let me say this, because I know a number of the board members are saying the presidents are not giving them access. It's not the presidents.
No, I'm not.
Sometimes there is glitch in the system, and sometimes we ask that the membership directors or even the president-elect have access to the membership list. And some way, somehow, things get changed. With the new changes now, I can't see Beate. If Beate is here, she
Yes,
might
ma'am.
be able to put us, okay, go, you're here, I can't see you.
That's okay.
Mhm.
You really only can go from now on to the network builder. Every one of your governing board that is correctly reported
Mhm.
has access to their local network. Members don't have it. But
Right.
you as a director or as the treasurer, president, have access to the network builder. They told us in Washington that they are working on a new website provider. So for right now, you only need access admin rights for the website in order to change out documents or to add your events. Other than that, nobody needs admin rights anymore. Go to the network builder, really. That's the way to go, because this is the only one that is updated.
And we're going
Yeah.
to train on that because a lot of these things are new. So we're going to train on that in August. But in the meantime, if you have questions, call Beate, call me, and we'll be able to walk you through it.
Thank you, ladies.
So somebody put in the chat that they're struggling to get new members to sign up because it's $200 halfway through the year. But, I would make sure that those people understand that they're getting a year worth of membership. The first time that they pay, they're getting that full year of membership. The second year is when they're prorating that membership. So, but during your first year, you're joining a professional organization. You're having events that provide value, and you're giving them the access to be able to do that. So for somebody who's been in the business, let's say 2 to 5 years, it's a drop in the bucket for the value that they're going to receive, the education they're going to receive to join. They just need to understand that. Sometimes it takes you sharing a calendar or introducing them to people within the network that have been there for a long time and having them explain why they're still members. There's also programs that I've seen where somebody who's been a member for a long time will sponsor a member, they'll pay their dues and then they pay it forward to the next person. So other things they can do. All right.
We want to talk about August? That's a question. Awesome. Well, we are super excited. So we're at the halfway mark, but we know there's a lot more to do and a lot more to build. And we've been talking and planning And really saying where Charmaine said in the beginning, you guys are the heart of the network. I see our membership and our events director here, like they set the tone for people feeling welcome and wanted. And again, it's critical. And so your passion and why you're in that role is essential. But we also know, having been there, the amount of tactical work that comes with it, creating flyers, creating scripts, creating phone scripts, creating social media posts. And so the good news is, guys, we live in amazing times. And Candy and I have spent a lot of time in particular with some of the technology things. So, Canva, which most of you get an account with Women's Council, being a Blue Diamond sponsor of that. We're going to teach you how you can build out social media for a month in like 10 minutes, right? And we're going to show you how a lot of these things with ChatGPT can create deep everything you need in social media, or even help you brainstorm or come up with creative titles. So the other thing is the Reach tool that lets you use text one-to-one to people, have communication, but you're just not having to type every time. And so here's the deal. MIT did a study and they said people that are using tools like this right now, 3 months into ChatGPT coming out, were 80% more productive and putting out 40% better quality. Would you like to have that in your life right now? Amen. We wear so many hats and do so many things. And so we want to show you guys how to do that, not only for Women's Council, but even to transcend into your business. And so again, the thing that I would really encourage now is encourage your project team, your future leaders, your other people to be here, because if they understand it, it's going to be easier to delegate. It'll just be one less thing you've got to separately train them on, and they're going to be excited to not only see what you can learn about how to do these events and do the membership pieces with less stress. But think about it, we are in the relationship business. And so the skills and the way that we embrace people and connect with people is what makes a difference and why Women's Council has such high referrals and referability. So again, these opportunities to grow and learn, we are super excited to have an action-packed, hands-on, really, take theory to some templates and recipes. And so again, what we're saying is, we're going to hopefully give you the things that help you build a journey in your network that everybody's going to love to come along with you. And so that's really exciting. The team has a lot going, and that's just one piece of the conference. So just imagine what else. But we really are excited to have you there. So we just wanted to make sure if you hadn't done so, be sure and encourage other people that and that you're thinking of and looking at, even if, and I know some people have done this, even if you just have them drive over that day for the conference. Many of our networks have people within driving distance. And so there's a way to come and get, some of this stuff that's really going to help you. If you've got someone on events or membership and they can't make the whole thing, maybe encourage them, hey, because if they can see the bigger picture, if they can meet other people, if they can see they're not alone, we just find that that's really where we all love the journey, right? I mean, it's the relationships that we make and the things we learn that make us better in our business. So I'm excited to be part of this amazing team and work with you guys. Membership and events is my passion. I believe that, like Charmaine, again, where you guys are is the energy of every network. And so, you guys are super special, and your passion and willingness to care for others and invite others is what makes Women's Council grow and be who it is. And we have found that when you're talking about events, people that are 1 to 5 years in the business, people that are small brokerages, or people that maybe are involved at a state and national level, Women's Council brings something to them that they're not getting other places. So that's a really good niche to tap into, maybe if you're looking for places first, right? So those people probably aren't having them ask or showing value or people pouring into them. But anyway, that's it. We'll be in Orlando. And again, just wanted to put a plug in for the conference. Turning it back over to Madam President and Andrea.
Okay, so thank you, everyone. We are on exact time, 11 o'clock. Again, if you have any questions, please reach out to us, and we really appreciate you guys being here. Thank you, everyone. Have a good rest of the day and happy 4th of July.